Welcome to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ, offering support for those who care for a loved one. A show that cares about you and supports and encourages you, the caregiver. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Caregiver Hour radio show. Welcome. Maybe this is your first time listening to the show, and maybe you've listened to it every week. Whatever it is, we are so glad that you tuned in. Thank you so much. And we're so thrilled to be now live web stream. So even if you're just listening to the show and you kind of want to see who we are, we would invite you to visit the website, thecaregiverhour.com, and just look for the radio show. And under that tab is the archive of this show. But if you just tuned in and you're at your work or at home and you want to, or even at Starbucks, and you want to watch the show, you can do that as well live. So we have it live as well as archived, and we have the audio on podcast. The audio can be listened to on our website, thecaregiverhour.com, WFLA and WHNZ. That brings a lot of viewers, thousands of caregivers who are able to access this show. And we also are on iHeartRadio. So we're trying every which way we can get there to get you to be connected to us, because we are here for you 24/7. And I mean that literally. We have now started a caregiver helpline. This helpline is for you. Even if you have a question that you think, I don't even want to be asking anyone, you can ask me. I have this toll-free number for you. That number needs to be accessible, easily found for you and maybe perhaps another family member. That toll-free number is 1-877-552-4950. That is the caregiver helpline number, and I encourage you to use it. Someone used it last night. I was watching the Super Bowl with some friends, and someone called because they were in that pain point. They were in so much pain that they reached out for me, and I'm so happy they did, because even though it was late when they called me at 8:30 in the evening, I called them back that night. And then I spoke to her again this morning just to check in to see how she was doing. Sometimes a good night's sleep can really help us feel a little better in the morning. And so she is pretty stressed out at this point in her life, and we're hoping that she will call us at the end of the show today, because we want to kind of bring that hug for her, that caregiver hug for her, and have the resources and the expertise and some support so that she can really muster through this day. It's a really tough day for her, and we want to encourage her to really reach out to us. And again, that toll-free number is 1-877-552-4950. And speaking of this show is about helping caregivers create balance, and I'm talking professional and family caregivers. And these are caregivers are people who are really just in that mode where they are taking care of other people at a higher level of what may be normal. And you could be a long-distance caregiver, you could be a short-distance caregiver, you could be a short-term caregiver. It can be all different types of scenarios. And we've got two great guests to help talk about caregiving today and really support you. That is Amanda Wolf, elder law attorney at Wolf Elder Law, and Linda Burhans. And Linda has been here before, so I'm so thrilled that she is here again. And I heard this morning she's going to be here every first Monday of the month. How lucky are we to have her? And she is caregiver advocate at Harmony Home Health. So I want to just bring to you the idea that caregiving is universal. Caregiving is now intergenerational. It is all different types of scenarios. And what's so important is having a healthcare directive and how it protects and honors your wishes. That's what this is all about. What is a healthcare directive? Why do I need one? What's the best way for me to get one? And what do you mean it's going to honor my wishes? What does that all mean? Can't a living will just do it all for me? We have the answers for you. And we have the answers first with Amanda Wolf. And I really want to chit-chat with Amanda and welcome you officially to the Caregiver Hour.
Thank you very much, Kim. I'm so happy to be here today.
Well, you are beautiful as always. You radiate not just light, but a lot of great positive energy, Amanda. And with elder law, that can be kind of a thick topic, and it could be somewhat of a block for people to get to you. But once they do, I'm sure they feel, oh my God, I came to the right place.
Thank you so much. You know, as elder law attorneys, we deal with so many emotional issues.
Yes.
In addition to the legal side of the situation. So we're very blessed when our clients come to us and on the way out, they give us a hug and say, thank you so much.
Yeah.
this wasn't as bad as I expected.
Somewhat like a dentist appointment, not so bad. But you're so important to the fabric of our industry here in our community, and we're just so honored for you to be here. And we hope that our listeners who maybe don't live in the Tampa Bay area do connect with their elder law attorneys, and they probably could connect with you to get some good resources. Don't you think you could refer them?
Absolutely. On occasion, we do get calls from different states and even local, just to say, I'm not in your area. Could you please refer me to somebody who has the expertise that you have? And we're happy to provide that.
So why don't we give them your contact information now, Amanda, in case someone's watching and has this time to do this?
Sure.
What's the best way for them to do that?
If they would like to go on my website, it's www.wolf.elderlaw.com. And on that website, we have all different information about elder law, the topics that are important, Medicaid, veterans benefits, estate planning from powers of attorneys, healthcare surrogates, and then links to appropriate resources within the area.
That's wonderful. I want to talk to you. You watched the show last night, the Super Bowl.
Yes, I did.
Yes. And we were both rooting for the Broncos, even though John Gaston was looking for the Seahawks. Congratulations. One of the things, did you enjoy watching the game?
I enjoyed watching the game. It was a little hard.
Yeah.
Because of Peyton.
Yeah. It was hard.
But the commercials were great.
The commercials were great. I saw the guy who created the Doritos ad got $1 million this morning. God bless him. Young couple. Their life is definitely going to change now forever. But I wanted to get to the game a little because if you look at the game, a little like how caregiving is, the Seahawks were so prepared for that game. Mm-hmm. They knew every play that Peyton was going to play, and they were right there. They were just right there. And I thought to myself, for caregiving, we talk about planning so often on the show, and they really had planned. They prepared. They knew what was going to happen. I want our caregivers to feel prepared and plan so that when they are on the field, like the football players, or when they're in that position now as caregivers, they've got everything in place. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that idea?
I think that is a fantastic idea. I will tell you that many of the clients that come into my office had been referred by somebody, maybe their doctor, maybe a family friend, saying, you need to start preparing. And those clients really, when they come in at the initial initial diagnosis for many of them.
Right.
Maybe it's a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or even just somebody who's aging. And
yes.
They say, I want to be prepared. What can I do? Having a consultation with a certified elder law attorney is a great step because we not only provide them with, different ideas of what they can put in place for themselves, some planning options. We also provide them with referrals for various resources.
So just talking now in football language, the interception, so that would eliminate or minimize the interceptions that may happen with other family members that might pop up, other situations that you're not expecting. They can pop up just like they did for Peyton. And we're just hoping that our listeners are really getting the message that we encourage you to connect with an elder law attorney and have that conversation. Just have the conversation. You don't have to make any commitment. You are there to really help them, and I really get that. So we are going to have more of a conversation with Amanda on healthcare directives, how it protects and honors your wishes, and why you want to have them, and what the difference is between a living will, because it can be a little overwhelming with all the different legal documents that we need to have. And also estate planning. We've talked about how when people hear estate planning, they think I have to have millions, and that's really not the purpose of that jargon, but we really want to help bring some clarity to you. We have a great show. Having Linda Burhans on today, it makes me feel so good because she is this extraordinary caregiver advocate who is out in our community every day, running support groups, being accessible, and really being with Harmony Home Health, which is really a great organization. So if you have just tuned in and you need to get a cup of coffee, go get it now. Or if you need to take a break for a moment, because we want you to stay with us today. We've got a great show. Again, Again, you can come and you can even call us with your questions. They've got a toll-free number during the show, and I'll give that to you right now. It's 1-877-897-8255. Again, 877-897-8255. Have your questions ready, but don't be shy. You can also iChat us on our website at thecaregiverhour.com, and there is under the archive, under the live web stream page, you can go right away and iChat us. And so many of our caregivers do, because they're busy at work and they have a moment just to chat with us, and then we can answer their questions live on the show and then chat back with them. It's all beautiful. It's all here for you. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
Caregiving has gotten harder and more complicated, even as families have more and more demands on their time. That's why AARP is here to help caregivers with the tools, information, and support they need to care for their loved ones and themselves. Check out aarp.org/caregiving to connect with other caregivers like yourself and find the resources you need. Visit the AARP Caregiver Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Injured in a car accident or suffering from back and joint pain for a while? Clearly, you need to see a doctor. Call Dr. Ben, a chiropractor with 25 years experience. He listens, he cares, he gets results. His common sense approach? Coaching patients to be self-sufficient and less doctor-dependent. Let's face it, there are many things you can do to improve your health. Call Dr. Ben at 727-488-8044. Mention the Caregiver Hour radio show for a free examination. 727-488-8044. Dr. Ben, your coach to better health. 727-488-8044.
Sometimes I know what I want to say, but just can't find the words.
Last week I shouted at my grandson, and I'm not sure why.
I saw my daughter, but couldn't remember her name.
The sooner you recognize the warning signs of Alzheimer's disease, the sooner you can do something about it. To learn more, go to alz.org/10signs. That's alz.org/10signs. A message from the Alzheimer's Association.
The following commercial audio has exclusive rights and may not be used or duplicated without the express permission of the talent or its producer. To obtain additional clearance information, call Clear Channel Productions at 813-832-1429.
Caregivers, are you worried about mom or dad needing more care? How do you know when it's time to get help? Since 2004, Harmony Home Health has helped seniors in Tampa Bay find joy in their journey. You'd be amazed at how just a little bit of care can go a very long way. From just once in a while to every day of the week, your loved ones experience independence, safety, and dignity wherever they call home, and your whole family experiences harmony. With Harmony Home Health, you are not alone. You can trust their family to take care of yours. Call 727-723-7532 or visit their website at harmonyhh.com/Kim.
I'm Mike Lavoie with Beacon Asset Management. While 30 years of experience in financial services may have prepared me to be a certified financial planner, no amount of planning could have prepared me for the stress of being a caregiver. The financial planning my dad and I did when my mother became ill made caring for her bearable. At Beacon, we are committed to helping you take care of your financial needs so you can take care of your loved ones. Give us a call at 813-269-0732. 813-269-0732.
The Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We got this show happening already, and I'm so happy to have Amanda Wolf. She is a certified elder law attorney at Wolf Elder Law right here in the Tampa Bay area. So, Amanda, thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Why don't we continue our conversation? We've been talking about health care directives. When I say that, and really wanting to really have the caregiver connect with it, how it can protect and honor their wishes. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, absolutely. It really is truly what it sounds like. It's a healthcare direction. So there are two different forms that are the legal side, I should say. One form you can get from your doctor, which is in DNR. I don't know if we're going to go into that too much today. Mm-hmm. But we have what's called a healthcare surrogate, and we have a living will. And they are very different documents, both dealing with medical wishes. And the healthcare surrogate is really a direction as to who do you want to make your decisions regarding your health care if you are unable to make them for yourself.
Okay. So that's a separate document from the living will, or it's part of the living will?
Well, it can be both, actually.
Okay.
The way I draft them, I include my living will in the healthcare surrogate document. So my clients just have one document that they need to provide to a medical provider.
Right, and for storage. It's good,
purposes.
right? So
Yes,
they
correct.
have it all together. Because when would they use the healthcare directive?
Well, the healthcare directive would be necessary in the event they were hospitalized, that they had some form of emergency. And really what it does is it tells the medical professionals, if I cannot make my own decisions for myself, this is who I choose to make my decisions. And then the living will portion of that document is important because it tells them in writing, this is what I want to have happen if I am in a terminal condition, an end stage state, or in a coma, a vegetative coma, and I can't make my own decisions regarding a life-sustaining activities. So do I want to be kept alive in this condition, or do I want somebody to kind of take measures to not continue this?
Okay, so even before the show we were talking about, you've come across some people who say, I do want to be on life support system for 30 days and maybe even up to a year. Mm-hmm. So people have that choice.
Absolutely. And that's one good thing about getting these in writing. It's important to meet with an attorney who handles these types of issues, because they can sit down with you and they can say, you don't have to say, I don't want to be kept alive. You can actually say, I do want to be kept alive. And that should be in writing. And you can give all of the ramifications for how you want to be kept alive, time periods, what type of quality of life you want to have. Those are all things that you can actually include in your living will and your healthcare surrogates.
So I have one other burning question, and that's about storage. Where do we keep these documents, and then when do we pull them out and walk around with them?
Many of my clients want to keep them in a lockbox, in a safety deposit box. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, people get sick over the weekends. They get sick after hours, and they get sick when the banks aren't closed. So I always suggest, first of all, make sure that all of your family members have a copy of your healthcare surrogate and your living will.
Okay, I think you should say that one more time, because that's a golden nugget.
Great. Every one of your loved ones should have a copy of what your healthcare directives say. So
because these are your wishes.
Yes.
Instead of guessing.
Or
arguing.
Yeah. And one of the great ideas that I always suggest is the person that you choose as your healthcare surrogate, make sure you sit down with them and you say, these are my decisions and these are my choices. And this is how I want to be treated if I can't make my own decisions.
You're even bringing in awareness for me. I mean, we have our legal documents, but we haven't had the conversation with the family. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time to do that. And we are actually, during this springtime, we are going to be seeing the family and we are going to be talking to them. And then I think distributing the copies is a great idea. So thank you for bringing that awareness for me as well. The other piece I want to let our listeners know is that our helpline is connected with a professional who is in elder law. And if there is a question about this, we certainly want you to call Amanda directly. Amanda, why don't we give them your number?
Sure. It's 813-350-7991.
And if you need to call the helpline, that toll-free number is 1-877-552-4950. And we are here to help you 24/7 with your questions, even about elder law and about healthcare surrogate and your legal documents. I want to go to the question about estate planning. As soon as I hear that, I think I need $1 million. So what is am I normal?
You are absolutely normal.
I know that's a scary question.
Absolutely. And I give lectures throughout the counties, and many people come and they say, well, first of all, I'm not a millionaire.
Right.
Do I need these documents?
Mm-hmm.
And as attorneys, when we refer to estate planning, we don't necessarily mean necessarily financial planning. It is the advanced directives, making sure that you have your healthcare surrogate and your living will in place. And then also 2 other documents that I would say are basic, but can somewhat be very detailed, which is a power of attorney. And then also the final document that I would say would be in the standard estate plan would be a last will and testament.
Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, you can call us toll free at 1-877-897-8255. That's the number during the radio show where you can call in with your questions, or you certainly can iChat us right now on our live web stream. I have another question, and that's really about when, in so much in Florida, we've got the snowbirds, and they live in one part of the country or the world, and then they come down to Florida during the summer, during the winter time to kind of stay warm, and like today's going to be almost in the 80s. What happens with those documents? Are they fluid? Do they need to have documents in both locations?
We have a legalese term that I know nobody likes to hear about, but there's a term called comity, Comity. And what that means is if a legal document was drawn up in a different state and the person travels to Florida, technically Florida needs to honor that document. However, we're going to apply our laws to that document. So it may be more complicated, it may be more difficult to honor that document. I have many clients who are the snowbird, and they go up north and they come back down here. And many times they will want a set of documents for Florida and a set of documents for their hometown. And as long as the documents don't revoke each other, that's fine. You can have double sets of documents.
I mean, doesn't that make sense to have an attorney in every state where you're living? Because things happen, like you said, not always 9 to 5, and you want to have a local representative, a resource,
Absolutely.
a consul, someone who can counsel you.
Yes.
And also I'm thinking that sometimes after they come to Florida, they take a cruise somewhere, so you want to keep your documents with you all the time. How does it work out in sea?
Out in sea, as long as they're in the continental U.S., it should be just fine as long as they have legal documents that are drafted in a particular state and they were drafted appropriately.
Okay. So again, if you have any questions, we want you to feel you can call us right now, toll free at 1-877-897-8255. You could see I had a lot of questions, even personal questions. You may have something too burning to just ask us. We're here for you. Or you can go to thecaregiverhour.com. Just click on to the radio show, and the drop downs will take you right to the live web stream, and you can iChat us with us right now. We have got, and I'm so happy to say, that Linda Burhans is going to be here. She's here in the studio, and she's here next with us. And then Amanda will be back at the end of the show with your questions and perhaps also with one of the people that called me on the helpline last night. I've asked her to call me at the end of the show today so that we can give her a great big hug of information and resources. I am really, again, a big proponent of you calling the helpline. This helpline is here for you 24/7. I can't say it enough because I want to convince you how this helpline has helped hundreds and hundreds of people, of other caregivers. My toll-free number for the helpline is 1-877-552-4950. And again, it's available 24/7. We've got great information now coming from a different perspective with Linda Burhans, who is a caregiver advocate for Harmony Home Health. Stay with us. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
From the Tampa Bay Orthopedic Specialist Studios, this is 1250 Wins WHNZ Tampa Bay, an iHeart radio station.
You wouldn't let a friend get in the ring with a heavyweight champ. You wouldn't let a friend guess which wire to cut.
The white one?
So why on earth would you let a friend smoke? Friends don't let friends smoke, especially when there's an e-cig that looks, feels, and tastes just like the real thing. So for everything friends do, return the favor. Give them an Android King electronic cigarette. Cigarettes, you've met your match. Available at participating Circle K, Racetrack, and other retailers nationwide. Not for sale to minors. Contains nicotine, which is addictive. Find out more at enjoy.com.
In a crash, act fast.
Need compensation? Call Catania and Catania today. 1-800-253-5523 or visit CataniaandCatania.com. Catania and Catania, your injury law attorneys. Serving the Tampa Bay area for over 20 years. Non-attorney spokesperson. Offices Tampa.
Hello, Melissa Ann. What? It's me, Barney, your computer here.
Seriously?
Yep.
Nobody calls me Melissa Ann.
Yeah, I know, but, well, we gotta talk. Did you know I can help you save money on your electric bill?
Really?
With Energy Planner from Tampa Electric.
What's that?
It's a cool interactive energy management program that puts savvy customers like you in control of your energy costs. Energy Planner gives you access to lower rates, which are available 87% of the time.
87% of the time?
Uh-huh. It's easy, it's free, and they'll even show you how we can make the most of it. Together.
Oh, Barney.
You and me, Melzy, and Tampa Electric.
Sweet.
Hey, why don't you guys out there call 813-275-3909 or visit tampaelectric.com/save to learn more about the free Energy Planner program. Only from Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
I'm not just a lawyer, I'm your lawyer. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
This report brought to you by Garmin. Hate traffic, don't hate, drive happy. Get a Garmin Nuvi with subscription-free HD digital traffic and avoid traffic and construction delays with updates delivered as often as every 30 seconds. Drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center on eastbound I-4, we still have a crash west of County Line Road around mile marker 24, and it's in the median, not really causing too much of a delay anymore. There's a minor accident in Pinellas County at US 19 and Bel Air Road. Watch for crash on 113th Street south of 102nd Avenue North. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, weather center forecasts, upper 70s, some low 80s this afternoon. Brandon getting up to 79. Looks like might see some sunshine starting to poke out. 71 Tampa, Clearwater, 77 and 78 in Bradenton. Lows tonight dipping into the low mid 60s. We'll see low 80s tomorrow, 10% chance of rain. Midweek, a little drop in temps, mid 70s, 30% chance of some showers. Then low 70s Thursday with the same rain chance. Then sunny and dry starting Friday, mid 70s. We'll see that Friday through the weekend. Wall Street today, Dow is down 184 to 15,514. NASDAQ off by 58. The S&P index is down by 22. 1250 wins, WHNZ.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. I just want to let you know this segment is being brought to you by Harmony Home Health. You're not alone. Trust our family to take care of yours. And that is a great tagline. And if you have any questions and you want to get in touch with Harmony Home Health, you can call them directly at 727-723-7532. And for more information, and you can also get to them on the caregiverhour.com website. They are one of our sponsors. You would go to the website, thecaregiverhour.com. You would look at for the, we've got a few different places you can connect with them, but certainly through the radio, and they are definitely one of our sponsors. So those are the two key words, the radio show and sponsors, and they can get to you. It looks like we've got a call. So Linda, are you ready for a call?
Of course.
But before we have the call, why don't we just bring on Linda Burhans, our caregiver advocate extraordinaire here for the Tampa Bay area. So welcome to the Caregiver Hour.
Joyful and grateful to be here.
I know you are. Why don't we see what the guest has to say? Because it could be a perfect intro to what you want to talk about. So, Steve, if you could bring the guest on, that'll be great. Hello, and welcome to the Caregiver Hour.
Hi, it's Noreen Benson from Rochester, New York.
Hi. Okay, we are glad you called because we were talking about you a little before about really trying to help you, Maureen, understand that we are here for you, and I did make some calls for you this morning. So just to kind of prep the people, I want to let you know that Maureen, it's called Maureen?
Noreen with an N.
Okay, that's what I thought, but they typed in Maureen. So it's Noreen with an N, and you are from Rochester, New York, and you had called me last night because you're in a situation where someone in your family has, I'll just put it out there, has mental illness.
Yes.
Okay, and what I did is I called our local NAMI the National Association of Mental Illness. I called our local chapter before the radio show so that we can help you make that connection. So what I'm going to do after the show, Noreen, I'm going to make that call for you. I'm going to call you back, and then I'm going to give you the phone number for NAMI. And that way you can connect with them locally, and she's going to tell you what resources are available, most likely up in Rochester, New York. And she thinks that there's going to be some really good ones for you. So I was happy to hear that. The other piece that I want to talk about is I want to make sure you have your legal documents. Do you and your husband have your legal documents? Noreen?
What does that mean? Yes.
Okay. All right. That's a good question. So, Linda, do you want to ask her something as an advocate?
What Kim is talking about. Do you have a living will? Do you have a healthcare surrogate?
I don't know if we have that or not. I don't think we do.
Okay. Well, this is
going to
something
be
really important.
Yep.
Really important.
And that's why I wanted you to call, not just to talk about what's going on for the family member, but also how to take care of yourself. That's the whole purpose of this show. So again, that's something that we're going to, at the end of the show, I'm going to ask our wonderful Amanda Wolf to contact you so that you can then understand what it is that you need to have, because these are the things you want in place, Noreen, as you go through this process of really deciding what's going to happen with you and your family member. And so I will connect you, because Amanda will then connect you with perhaps an elder law attorney up in Rochester, New York. I want to really go back. So I feel like we've taken care of the immediate. The other piece I want to take care of is you connecting, now that your loved one is in the hospital, talking to the social worker. You and I talked about this morning before I was on my way to the show. Did you have a chance to call her up while he's in the hospital and set this appointment up?
No.
Okay, because I know you had an appointment this morning, so that would also be on your list. We're giving you a big to-do list, but I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not going to leave you alone, even though you're in Rochester and I'm in Tampa. So perhaps do you have any questions for us?
Well, everybody seems to think at the hospital that he's okay. But he has them boondoggled into thinking he's fine, and he's really not fine. He's already saying he's going off meds, and I'm waiting to hear from the social worker. So I don't know what I can do.
Okay, so I can...
Except maybe go in and talk to her one-on-one. And I just got done talking to the nurse who is in charge of outpatient as part of the hospital. And she's like, well, just call us when you let her know, like it's nothing. Like the minute he gets out, that he's not going to have problems.
Yeah.
If somebody advocates that they're not going to take their medication and they need medication, and he's been on it before 3 times, I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's so hard to get any assistance, really.
Okay, and I think part of it's because you haven't connected to the right resources. Do you agree with that, Amanda and Linda?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think that you've been in your world, in your bubble, trying to handle this all by yourself, and now it's not private anymore, because you've had a nurse come into the house to see that he has issues, he has problems, and you're now really having to step up, and we want to be there to help you step up. So I think it's really connecting to NAMI, your local chapter. There could be support groups. There could be counselors that can help direct you on how to handle the situation. We aren't the experts in this piece. We have other expertise, but we know the resources that can help get you closer to what your goal is. And that's for him to be in a safe environment, to be stabilized, so that he's not abusive and he's not functioning to the highest ability, because you sound exhausted. When I spoke to you last night, you couldn't stop crying. You were crying on the helpline, and then I called you back as soon as I could, and you were still crying. And there's a good reason why you're crying. You feel exhausted. You feel you feel emotionally hurt, and we really want to help you.
Right.
Right. Okay. So, Linda, do you want to say something?
I just want to say I'm so glad, Noreen, that you reached out to Kim, because many times as caregivers, we feel this is our responsibility. We're the only one that can take care of everything.
Right.
And we're not the only one.
All right. Now, when he comes home, he's going to have a nursing service take care of him. And that's what I'm concerned about. How much coverage will he get, and will he stay on meds?
Right.
And they told me, and even in the hospital, they can't force somebody to take meds.
So now this is a great question with Amanda. Amanda, help us here legally.
Unfortunately, if somebody is competent to make their own decisions, and it sounds like the medical professionals are telling you that he actually has a legal right to choose not to take medications.
So where does I'm going to be stuck then.
No, definitely. I think there are resources out there. Maybe getting a geriatric care manager in place, somebody who can come out and be an advocate for him, not just an advocate for the hospital or the doctor, but his advocate to say, let's see what we can do to keep you in a safe location, to make sure that, and talk to you maybe, why are you not taking your meds? Maybe get him a psychiatrist of his own choosing. And worst case scenario, if you disagree with the medical professionals, maybe you might want to seek out an attorney to help potentially get what's called a guardianship in place. If somebody's declared legally incompetent, then they don't have the right to make certain decisions anymore, and that could be maybe what it needs to be done in this case.
So do you think has he had a competency test at the hospital, Noreen?
No.
Okay. See but if you don't ask, then they may assume, and that's why I want you to have this conversation with the social worker at the hospital. Linda, you want to say something?
What Noreen said earlier, maybe I need to go down and talk to the social worker face to face. Yes, that's what you need to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because the more
she
contact
needs to see the pain you're in,
right, and the more contact you can have with them one-on-one. You know the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets oiled. Mm-hmm. You need to go down there. You need to find out what your rights are, which you're doing right now, and Kim's going to help you with, because then you have a good leg to stand on.
And also, if you can, possibly take a friend or a family member with you so that they can kind of remember things that maybe you forgot, or bring up issues that you maybe didn't think to bring up. It's always nice to have a second person and a second set of ears.
I totally agree with that, because we're in an emotional situation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to remember what am I supposed to do next. When I used to go to the doctor with my mom at times, my girlfriend used to come with me with a notebook. Mm-hmm. And because I'd be like, did I get that right? Or did I hear that right? Or is this what I need to do next? And it makes things a whole lot clearer. And if you can keep all that information in one book, write down in one notebook, everything that's going on with your loved one and with you, then you have everything in one place, and you can go back to the doctor and say, well, this is what happened 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And this is what happened yesterday.
Because we don't remember.
No.
Noreen, did you...
Now, maybe some of this behavior is due to the fact he has an infection in the bone and in the whole bloodstream.
Oh,
okay, so let me ask you then.
So look better and act better at the hospital when I seen him.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you then, has the way he's been treating you then very short term, or has it been long term?
It's been since he got the infection and everything. It's been
okay, so if it's become acute,
and
then...
he was talking about euthanasia.
Okay. He must be in a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. He must be in a lot of pain, Noreen. But there...
Yeah, and he looked, when they took him with the ambulance, he looked like a deer looking at headlights.
Yeah, so scared. Well, I think...
so, I mean, he might improve as the infection gets out of his body. Right now, he's not answering any of my calls, and when I go up to the hospital to visit, he says, you think you're a doctor, and I never said I was a doctor, and he blamed me for getting the infection in his foot and in his bloodstream because he had me changing the dressing, and I did the best I could, but he wouldn't go. I don't think you're mentally stable if you won't go to the doctor and you have an infection that's in your bloodstream and you let it go for a month, because he wouldn't have to be dealing with all this.
Okay.
Had he gone in.
Right.
But he refused.
Okay. We have to go to You're doing great. We're going to go to a station break, and then we will be back. You're welcome to stay with us. So hang on. We're here for you. I'm Kim Linter. Welcome to the Caregiver Hour radio show, and we want you to know we want you to stay with us here on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Hi.
Hi, it's Kim Linder from the Caregiver Hour. I want to tell you about an attorney in Clearwater that I have known for over 7 years. His name is Bill Rambaum, and I have referred many families to him for his legal expertise. Bill is one of less than 100 attorneys to be evaluated by the Florida Bar and become certified as a specialist in elder law. His 30 years of experience and impeccable credentials make him one of the most highly regarded legal experts in our area. Give Bill a call today at 727-781-5357 or visit rambaumlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
Caregivers, are you worried about mom or dad needing more care? How do you know when it's time to get help? Since 2004, Harmony Home Health has helped seniors in Tampa Bay find joy in their journey. You'd be amazed at how just a little bit of care can go a very long way. From just once in a while to every day of the week, your loved ones experience independence, safety, and dignity wherever they call home, and your whole family experiences harmony. With Harmony Home Health, you are not alone. You can trust their family to take care of yours. Call 727-723-7532 or visit their website at harmonyhh.com/Kim.
Family caregivers, it's new and just for you, the Caregivers Resource Helpline, a free service brought to you by the Caregiver Hour radio show. If you've got questions about anything related to caregiving, you can call the helpline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Speak directly to dozens of caregiving experts on topics like what to do about caregiver burnout, how to best protect your family's assets, when to keep your loved one at home, or get assistance with a managed care facility, and much, much more. You can even speak to a caregiver coach. Call the Caregiver Resource Helpline today at 1-877-552-4950 to help you take the stress out of caregiving. If you or a loved one experience bladder control problems, here's important news.
For more than 5 years now, the nice ladies at the Caregiver Partnership have taken the time to understand my needs, suggest the best choices of bladder control products for me, and always get the right product delivered to my door fast and with free shipping.
To get started, simply call 800-985-1353 for your free catalog and $60 in coupons. Many people just like you trust the Caregiver Partnership for convenient home delivery of bladder control products, and they have more than 500 to choose from. Call now. The call is free, shipping is free, and your satisfaction is guaranteed.
The Caregiver Partnership treats me like family and really knows their stuff, and they keep my business private.
Call 1-800-985-1353 now to receive your free catalog with $60 in coupons. That's 1-800-985-1353. Call now. The voice in the preceding advertisement is not the voice of an actual customer. The Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We had a caller in from Rochester, New York, who found the helpline through Google. She found us. So we're very grateful. It is awesome. There were layers there. So I thought as a team, we did a great job. So thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Linda Burhans from Harmony Home Health, and Amanda from Amanda Wolf Elder Law, attorney at Wolf Elder Law, right here in the Tampa Bay area. So let's go to you, Miss Linda.
Yes.
You run these fabulous support groups. We just had the list up of, I don't know how many you lead now.
Oh, probably about 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is over last year, really? You just decided this is what you're going to do, and you just went for it.
Well, caregivers are becoming more educated.
Yeah.
So they know that there's places to look for help, which they didn't before.
Well, let's even go back further than that. Caregivers are recognizing that they're caregivers.
Oh, yeah.
And before, they didn't. I'm a daughter. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a friend from church. I don't need to. I'm your next door neighbor.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not a
caregiver is the
caregiver.
person that works in the hospital, not me.
Not me. And we're letting them know that you are a caregiver, no matter how long that could be or where you live, correct?
Right. Or what kind of circumstances.
Right.
Every single one is different.
Exactly.
From children to adults to middle-aged people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing about coming to a support group is lots of times people think, oh, a support group, am I going to be analyzed or something like that? A support group is there to find all sorts of support, not just emotional support, but practical support, where you can find information on elder care attorneys, where you can find information about doctors, hospitals, research. Because, as I was saying earlier, the caregivers have this thing, it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to take care of mom or my husband, and I shouldn't bother anyone else with it. No, it takes a village. Just like bringing up a child, it takes a village. And the more information we can have, the better our journey can be. Because I always say your caregiving experience can be the most horrific experience of your life,
Right.
or it can be downright beautiful depending on how you handle it.
Right.
And it's so interesting because last week I was doing one of my support groups, and we were talking about healthcare surrogates, and one of the women in the group realized that she had all her papers done, but it was 10 years ago, and she was married to a different man.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's divorced. And she
So
said,
that
he's
light
the
bulb-
last person I wanted to be my healthcare surrogate. It was not a good divorce.
Yeah.
And I don't think if she had come to the support group that day, we wouldn't have even had that conversation.
The light went on.
Yeah.
The light bulb went on.
Exactly.
So that's a great thing.
So,
that was grateful.
And another question that just recently came up, and I'd like to ask Amanda. One of the people asked me in the support group, what if they want to donate their organs? Is there another form for that?
Yeah, there are several different ways that you can choose to donate your organs, and luckily I brought my notes with me on this one. You can sign an organ or tissue donor card. You can register online with a donor registry. You can signify an intent to donate on your driver's license. You can express a wish to donate either in a living will or a healthcare surrogate document. And finally, even in a last will and testament, you can identify that those are your wishes. Now, for those people who didn't identify that, but the family always knew this is what the person wanted, as long as there's, no known absent actual notice of contrary indications, or they thought mom always wanted this, the family can actually make that decision after mom passes. But it's always better to do it ahead of time.
It's so great to have the discussion with the family. I remember when I made my decisions of what I wanted for my future, and I had the discussion with my family, and they were like, oh, great. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear about it. But when they know, in the back of their mind, well, this is all taken care of. It's a wonderful thing. And also with donating organs, you can specify what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Sure. Because one person said, I wouldn't mind donating my organs if it was going to be for transplant, but I don't want them to use them for research.
Absolutely.
That's a good point. And I like the idea that we're giving them the list of ways they can do it now rather than waiting later. Right. Or I did mention it. Hopefully they'll remember. You don't want to be on that. I hope they remember, because they're going to be in an emotional state when that happens. Perhaps, and you kind of want to have all your ducks in a row, just like we were talking about.
You want to be the boss.
Yeah, you want to be the boss of
your
you.
own boss.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We want to honor that. Your family members want to honor that.
Exactly.
So what else happens in your wonderful support groups?
Oh, all sorts of things happen all the time. Lots of times we get a good laugh, which is what caregivers really need, because it's such a serious kind of business. And the different information, as we were speaking earlier, about bringing a friend when you go to see a doctor, bringing a friend when you go even to see an elder care attorney, can really be most helpful, because we're going through a very emotional time. And if you keep that one notebook with all that information in, it's a godsend, because in the beginning you start writing on scraps of paper and you got this person's card here and you have that there, and it can be very confusing. But if you keep it all in one book, it really helps quite a bit.
I was happy that you brought up the idea of her bringing a friend to the hospital, because you're right. You don't hear everything. You're just thinking so ahead, and you're so emotional about it, because you could see that even Noreen, she has so much. The angst is so hot and heavy right now. So having a friend there to kind of just sit with her, even the energy just feels like support energy. You don't even, as a friend, have to say anything. Just be sitting there just makes such a difference.
Exactly, because when you're in that emotional state, you may not even hear something correctly. The doctor might have said one thing and you're hearing something different. And when you have a friend with you, they can say, no, slow down.
Or even, Noreen, you forgot to ask this question.
Right.
You and I put the questions down together when you were in a more calm state. When it was just the two of us, now we're at the hospital, and you forgot that question, and that's a big question that you might have.
And I want caregivers to know, don't think that you're burdening your friend.
That's a good point.
Don't think your friends ask if they can help you because they want to help you.
Right.
When I went through my caregiving experience with my mother, I met someone about a month after my mom passed away, and she said, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing okay. And she said, Linda, I'm sick of hearing that from you. She said, when you were taking care of your mom, you stole my joy. I said, I did what? And she said, I could see you swimming in quicksand, and every time I asked to help, you said, no, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a light bulb went off in my head since then. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But people are asking to help because they want to help you. And if you keep saying no to them, then they're going to stop asking one day. And that's when you're home at night crying all by yourself. I have no one to help me, because you said no to everyone.
That's another good point. Amanda, you work with caregivers. Do you find that what Linda's saying is really true?
Absolutely. Every single person who walks in my door, they say, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to ask for help, but I could really use some help. And a lot of it is simply with their family. Mom is taking care of dad, and they don't want to let the kids know necessarily how bad dad's gotten. They don't want to ask for help. And, the kids they're happy to help. Many of them are local. If they're not local, a lot of them will get, resources in to help. They want to be there.
Mm-hmm. When they block their children out, especially many times, they don't want to be a burden. They don't want the children to worry about them.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids will call up and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm great. Dad's great. It's all good." And then at Christmas time, the children come to visit and they see the house is in disarray and they're really not eating properly, and they're heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely
right.
heartbroken.
Why didn't you tell us? I want to go back to the support group for a moment, because I think when I was actively caregiving for my in-laws, I went to a support group as well. And I've also spoken at support groups. And what I love is that the exchange of information, because you may be looking for an elder law attorney or a good rehab center or a hospital or a physician, and you don't even know where to start. You can ask your colleagues there, your support group.
Exactly.
And they will tell you authentically what they think.
Exactly.
And so you're getting the real deal.
And sometimes you're just looking for a practical solution.
Yes.
There are times where I do a support group and I hardly talk at all, because they're sharing, this worked for me,
right.
and this worked, and I try to many times with the support group, hook them up with someone else that's in the group. Because if you're dealing with someone that has Alzheimer's and no one else knows anything about Alzheimer's, they're just not going to be able to relate. But if you find somebody in that support group that's going through the same thing as you, I say get together once a week or once a month even, and go out to lunch together. I said you just both can't be crying on the same day.
Yeah. Well, we, as we close, and we've got another minute, really, Amanda Wolf, would you like to say anything before we go to our listeners and our viewers?
I think one point I'd like to relay is that, many people are worried. They're worried about the cost of meeting with an elder law attorney, and I think that really can be a concern,
roadblock,
a
right.
roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come in, I've literally never had somebody who came into my office that didn't say this was worth the money that I paid for the consultation, even if they don't come back. So I'd like to leave you with that. It's typically worth it.
That's a good point.
Yes.
And Linda, for our closing, what would you like to say to our caregivers?
If you need a caregiver support group, I'm your gal. You can go to the Harmony website, which is harmonyhh.com, or you can call me on my cell. It's 727-365-8383. No question is silly.
Okay. That's great. Thank you so much, both of you. And if you want to also get through Harmony, you can also go to their website, and that website is?
www.harmonyhh.com.
That's perfect. So I hope you have a beautiful week and that you will do something that takes care of you and nourishes your mind, body, and spirit. I'm Kim Linder, your host of the Caregiver Hour. See you next week from 11 a.m. till noon on 1250 WHNZ.
I was so worried about my mom. After she fell, I knew she needed more help, but with work and the kids, I just can't always be there when she needs me. We were so lucky to find Harmony Home Health. Now Mom has a wonderful caregiver she loves, and I don't worry anymore.
Harmony is built on relationships. Nothing is more important to us than your peace of mind. You can count on Harmony to be there.